When we commenced our End of a New Beginning campaign, we started as a Kingdom of Prussia, but we gradually improved our nation, forming the German Empire. And from then on, we declared war on all of these nations, the Russians, the British, and the French. However, we managed to prevail, defeating all of them, humiliating them, and as a result, we gained a significant amount of territory from all of them. But now the year is 1876, and we are going to continue this campaign. I don't know what year we're going to make it to, but we are left of the aftermath of the major war. We may be victors of that war, however we are struggling financially, and our industry is in complete and utter ruin. Not to mention that our stability, legitimacy, and war support is at an all-time low. So we're going to have to say goodbye to all of our colonies. And we have unfortunately given all of the British and the French back, the colonial territories. However, our European territories that we gained or liberated in that war are still under our control, or the Italian control. They got a little territory in France, but that's besides the point. So in this video, we're not only going to have to fix the German Empire, but we're also going to have to assert our dominance over the globe permanently. First things first, we're going to have to demobilize our army. Why? Because we're not going to have to be fighting any nations anytime soon. And it will also drastically improve our financial system. That also means we're going to have to cut back in our production lines. And now the long road to recovery begins for the German economy. Now that we don't have to worry about our finances anymore, we can move over to the German focus tree. We've still got a lot to complete. However, this focus right here will take almost an entire year, so it's going to be quite boring for me. But we've also got to improve the nation's stability, so we're going to have to decrease our financial growth and focus more on the German population. And our stability has drastically improved, and also financially we are no longer drowning in debt. Nice. Now it's time to open up German relations with our neighbors. Well, we can't really make friends with the Benelux because the British influence is too high, and the French and the Russians are self-explanatory. Therefore, our German brothers down south, the Austrians, are our main priority. Therefore, we're going to send spies over to improve diplomacy. To ensure that we have Austro-Hungarian trust and good relationship between them, we're going to guarantee their independence, have non-aggression pacts, trade, military access between our nations, etc. And that means the number 1 and number 2 strongest nations in the world are basically brothers. And now the Vienna stock market crisis has been done and dealt with. And these two massive focuses which took forever, we can finally venture down our focus tree. So we're going to do that. We'll move over to our mighty German army. Now we've really only got one decision to make on the army side of the focus tree. Decentralized army or centralized army? We're going to go down the decentralized army. Why? Because I favor it, and it's got better stats. But we're also going to remove a major debuff that's been clinging to our army since forever. Now our industry is finally stabilizing. That means we can continue, or not continue, just complete this major focus, which has juicy buffs. But now the scramble for Africa is now in progress. That means we can unlock new technology, which will mean we have the ability to colonize some coasts on Africa. We'll start by colonizing this part in Zanzibar. Why? Because it's an easy target and it's our first colonial territory. Well, it's not really our first because we had Canada and the British Raj, but they don't really count because we lost them in like a few days. We'll also expand onto the coasts of Namibia, just like in real life. While the German Empire in Africa has currently got Togo, a bit of Cameroon, a bit of Namibia, and a bit of Zanzibar. But we want Central Africa, just like the Germans did in real life. But this time, I'm actually going to make their dreams come true. Hopefully. We'll see. Since the year is 1880, we can finally advance into the machine age. Now this side of the focus tree is the main side of the focus tree, however it's still under development, so I had to bypass it using the console. Now, we can go down the left side or the right side. First, we're gonna go down the left side, which is diplomacy. Well, since we're at peace with the British and the Russians for, I don't know, probably forever, well, we'll see, we're gonna have to improve relations with them because they are some of the strongest nations on the globe. Now that that part of the focus tree is done, we can venture down this side. Enough with the British and the Russians, we can now focus with our German-Franco relations. Now the Germans have had a history of hating the French, so we're going to continue that. However, we're going to have some diplomatic relations for this. We managed to exchange Togo in exchange for Gabon, because we want to focus on Central Africa. Now, since our relations with the Austrians are extremely high and well, we have formed the Dual Alliance, and a faction has been secured. Look how beautiful that is. But we can't forget about our fellow friends down south, the Italians. We gave them some territories from the French, and we also recognized them when they reunited. Therefore, we're going to form the Triple Alliance. Now, the faction is primarily based around the Germans, the Austrians, and the Italians. However, we are the most dominant, since we're the #1 nation on this planet. Now, looking to the east, Mother Russia. They're still pretty powerful, therefore, I want to improve relations with them. But it's not just us. Our brothers down south, the Austrians, have had pretty bad relations with the Russians, so we're going to heal our relationship with them. Now there's going to be a conference about the scramble for Africa, and I think that the Germans should be hosting this meeting. So, the Berlin Conference has commenced, and now we've got some decisions on who owns these African territories. Now we only want to focus on Central Africa primarily, and to make the other nations like the French and the British happy, we're gonna have to please them by saying, yes, you can have these territories. And the Berlin Conference has been concluded. Now we can continue down our focus tree, and we're gonna go down the right side now. And we're gonna begin Germanization, or however you pronounce it, in Alsace-Lorraine, Poland, and in Denmark. While we're staying in Denmark, or near Denmark, we finished the production of the Kiel Canal. So, I've got some bad news. I left my game running overnight on accident. I didn't realize I pressed play, and now it's 1906. The map has changed quite a lot. Well, we've got our African territories, which is nice, but we're a bit behind in stuff like technology. And we're also a bit behind in a focus tree. We probably would have been finished by now, but yeah. We're also going to advance into the oil era. Oh, well, it looks like the Ottoman Empire has declared war on the Russian Empire, but I don't think they stand a chance. Well, it looks like that the Russian Empire has absolutely been obliterated by the Ottoman Empire. Damn. Now, moving back to our focus tree, we're gonna have to eliminate some socialists in the nation, which is something I don't do very often in Hard to Fight 4. But at least we get some very minimal buffs. And with that section of the German focus tree completed, that means all of the content has been done. Because we can't do this because it's a work in progress. But therefore, the German Empire's focus tree has been concluded. Well, some factions have surfaced, so we're no longer the largest. So now I think it's the appropriate time to remobilize our army. and we produced a lot of divisions with new division templates, so we had to quickly sort out our supplies. I did this because I think it's time to tackle the main problem, the Ottomans. We tried to befriend the Russian Empire, however the Ottomans took them away from us. So it's time for the two most powerful factions, or I don't know, the Entente's pretty strong. Anyways, it's time for the two strongest factions to clash. Let's see if the Germans can prevail. We absolutely dominated the Ottoman Empire and their puppets, absolutely steamrolling over their troops. We pushed them down to the Aegean Sea. However, my game kept crashing, but we advanced into Istanbul, which was a major victory for the Germans. And once we captured the capital, Angora, the Ottoman Empire realized that there was nothing they can do, and a peace conference is underway. And this is the end of the peace conference. Yes, I know it's not the most appealing borders, but it would help if the colorization mod would actually work, but it didn't. But we managed to negotiate with the Greeks to join our faction by giving them some territory. Well, I think it's time for the biggest and the last war for the End of a New Beginning campaign. We are going to declare war on the Entente. The UK, the United States, and the French, or all in the Entente, are the second and third and fourth most powerful nations in the world. So this is going to be quite difficult. We lined up our troops against the borders in Europe, Africa, and Asia. And now it's time for the Germans, the Austrians, the Italians, etc. to commence in the war for dominance over planet Earth. Our first and main priority is capitulating the French Empire and the Benelux, just to get rid of the theatre in mainland Europe. Now, we wanted to repeat what the Germans did in World War II by encircling the French, or the Entente, or the Allies, whatever you like to call it, in Dunkirk, or Calais, whatever that region is. Sorry, I think I need to take English lessons, even though I've been in this country for like 12 years. Anyways, back to the war. We managed to encircle the Benelux region at Dunkirk, or Calais. I'm just going to call it Calais, because I'd like to. Now everything's going perfect except the Italians got naval invaded in Sicily yet again. The Entente's defense in France absolutely crumbled. We encircled Brittany, which was pretty tasty because of the encirclement, but we also went down to southern cities like Bordeaux, Marseille, and Nice. Like the last, 3 times? 1, 2, I forgot, I've lost count. We've invaded France so many times and won. But we also got naval invaded because I wasn't focusing. But we quickly dealt with him because the British don't know how to naval invade. Only the Germans know how to naval invade. But just like that, suddenly the Entente surrendered. I guess they realized that the defeat is inevitable. Nonetheless, a major victory or the last victory in this video for the Germans. Throughout the years 1857 to 1912, in Infinite Beginning, we have played 55 years in a singular mod. Wow, that's crazy. We've accomplished many, and our alliance spreads across all continents, except for Antarctica because it doesn't exist in this mod. But anyways, we have secured dominance over the globe. I think it's gonna stay like that for quite some time. Bismarck is almost 100 years old, surprisingly, and Wilhelm I is still our king. But anyways, we're not gonna talk about that. The Infinite Beginning campaign has been extremely fun to play. I recommend you guys check out the Infinite Beginning mod or share it. It's quite underrated. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and take care.